Today, our topic is wise, art of saying no, a Stoic perspective. Saying no is one of the hardest things for many people to do. We often feel pressured to say yes to everything, to people, to tasks, to opportunities, even when we know deep down that it's not the right choice. We fear disappointing others, being seen as rude, or missing out on something important. But the truth is, learning to say no is one of the most powerful skills you can develop in life. It is not just about refusing things. It is about understanding your priorities, respecting your time, and staying true to your values. And this is where Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, can guide us. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, to live with intention, and to find peace in simplicity. When we apply these principles to the art of saying no, we discover a path to greater freedom, clarity, and inner strength. Let's start by understanding why saying no is so difficult. Many of us are people pleasers. We want to be liked, appreciated, and accepted. We worry that saying no will make us seem selfish or unkind. But here is the problem. When we say yes to everything, we spread ourselves too thin. We end up overcommitted, stressed, and unable to focus on what truly matters. We sacrifice our own well-being for the sake of others, and in the long run, this does not help anyone. Stoicism reminds us that we cannot control how others perceive us. What we can control is our own actions and decisions. By saying no when necessary, we take responsibility for our lives and protect our energy for the things that align with our goals and values. The Stoics believed in the importance of living a virtuous life. Virtue, to them, meant acting with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. Saying no can be an act of virtue when it is done with these principles in mind. For example, saying no to unnecessary distractions is an act of wisdom because it allows you to focus on what truly matters. Saying no to unfair demands is an act of justice because it protects your rights and dignity. Saying no to fear or pressure is an act of courage because it requires you to stand firm in your convictions. And saying no to excess is an act of self-discipline because it helps you maintain balance and moderation in your life. When you say no with virtue, you are not being selfish. You are being true to yourself and living in alignment with your principles. Another Stoic idea that can help us master the art of saying no is the concept of Memento Mori. Remember that you will die. This might sound dark, but it is actually a powerful reminder of the finiteness of life. Our time on this earth is limited, and every yes we say is also a no to something else. If you say yes to a task that doesn't matter, you are saying no to something that could bring you closer to your goals or deepen your relationships. If you say yes to every request, you are saying no to your own peace of mind and well-being. Remembering that life is short helps us prioritize what truly matters and say no to the things that don't. It is not about being negative. It is about being intentional with the time and energy we have. Stoicism also teaches us to detach from external outcomes. We often say yes because we want to avoid conflict, gain approval, or achieve a certain result. But the Stoics remind us that these things are outside of our control. We cannot control how others react to our decisions, and we cannot guarantee the outcomes of our actions. What we can control is our own reasoning and choices. When you say no, you are not responsible for how the other person feels or responds. You are only responsible for making the decision that aligns with your values and priorities. This detachment frees us from the fear of rejection or disappointment and allows us to make decisions with clarity and confidence. One practical way to apply Stoic principles to saying no is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness means being fully present and aware of your thoughts and feelings in the moment. Before you say yes or no to something, take a moment to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, does this align with my values? Is this the best use of my time and energy? Will this bring me closer to my goals? If the answer is no, then it is okay to say no. You don't need to give a long explanation or justify your decision. A simple and respectful no is enough. Remember, you are not obligated to explain yourself to everyone. Your time and energy are precious, and it is your right to protect them. Another important aspect of saying no is setting boundaries. Boundaries are like invisible lines that define what is acceptable and what is not in your life. They help you protect your time, energy, and well-being. Setting boundaries can be challenging, especially if you're not used to it, but it is essential for living a balanced and fulfilling life. Start by identifying your priorities and values. What matters most to you? What are you willing to say yes to, and what are you not willing to compromise on? Once you have clarity on these things, it becomes easier to set boundaries and say no to anything that crosses them. Remember, boundaries are not about being rigid or selfish. They are about respecting yourself and others. It is also important to remember that saying no is not a one-time event. It is a skill that requires practice and consistency. At first, it might feel uncomfortable or even scary. You might worry about how others will react or feel guilty for prioritizing yourself. But with time and practice, it becomes easier. Every time you say no, you are reinforcing your commitment to your values and priorities. You are building the habit of making intentional choices and taking control of your life. And over time, you will notice that saying no not only benefits you, but also improves your relationships. When you say no to the things that don't matter, you have more time and energy to say yes to the things that do to your passions, your loved ones, and your own growth. Finally, let's talk about the power of simplicity. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of living a simple and uncluttered life. When we say yes to too many things, our lives become complicated and overwhelming. We lose sight of what truly matters and feel constantly stressed and distracted. But when we say no to the unnecessary, we create space for the essential. We can focus on our priorities, enjoy the present moment, and find peace in simplicity. Simplicity is not about depriving yourself. It is about choosing what adds value to your life and letting go of what doesn't. It is about living with intention and gratitude. In conclusion, the art of saying no is not just a skill, it is a way of life. It is about understanding your priorities, respecting your time, and staying true to your values. Stoicism offers us valuable tools to master this art, from focusing on what we can control to practicing mindfulness and setting boundaries. When we say no with intention and virtue, we take control of our lives and create space for what truly matters. We become more present, more focused, and more at peace. So the next time you are faced with a decision, remember the Stoic principles. Pause, reflect, and choose wisely. Say no to the unnecessary, and say yes to the essential. In doing so, you will not only improve your own life, but also inspire those around you to live with intention and integrity.